Okay, good evening. I'd like to call the February 20th, 2018 Board of Selectmen's meeting and call it to order. At 6 o'clock, we have a Board of Health variance, and at 6, we have a discuss blind driveway sign at Flag Swamp Road. Is anybody taping the meeting?
Board of Selectmen.
Freaking. Okay, anybody here, well, let me get to the rest of the agenda first. Meet with the water commissioners to discuss and sign the Environmental Partners Group contract for the water sewer engineering services. Discuss and vote to allow an Easter egg hunt for the cultural council to be held off of town property. Open and close warrant for a special town meeting to consider and review and act upon the final warrant for articles for a special town meeting. Discuss Lake Cam and the McCam agreements and possible renewal. Sign special town election and annual town election warrants as submitted by the town clerk. Sign a special speed zone regulation from the Mass Department of Transportation. Town administrators report. Under the board, personnel board, we have several change of statuses and signing of a contract for our town accountant. We'll also be going into executive session, not to reopen. With that being said, I will call the Board of Health variance for Cleveland Avenue, and I'll turn it over to the acting Board of Health chair.
Do you have the green cards, or was there any green cards issued?
Yes, we mailed out 14, and we received back 11, the green cards.
Can I have you?
So, plus I got receipts for the,
Non-deliverables?
well, I got receipts for everything. There's the receipts. There's the green cards.
Thank you.
Double check and everything.
I will. I have a list.
Can you all see this well enough, or you want me to move it out front? Do you even need it?
No, I can see it.
Okay.
Let me just read these real quick for the record. Sign and return John T. and Sharon Chase, 2 Cleveland Ave. Roderick and Diane Johnson, East Freetown, Mass. I don't know what the physical address is, it's to a P.O. box. Kathleen A. Cronin, East Freetown, up to a P.O. box, I don't know the physical address. Town of Freetown, we were notified, signed by the receiving officer. Albert Foster Jr., also a P.O. box. Jean P. and Maureen Trahan, also a P.O. box. Aziz T. and Margaret Jamal, also a P.O. box. William D. Betts, Rev Trust, 5 Black Oak Lane, New Jersey. John T. Chase, 2 Cleveland Ave. Richard Armitage, 2055 El Cerrito Court, Punta Gorda, Florida. No return green cards. Go ahead, you can proceed.
Okay, well, I'm John Parks. I'm the manager of J&W Properties. We own 4 Cleveland Ave, and what we're requesting a variance on is to increase the septic system from a 2-bedroom up to a 3-bedroom. It was originally granted us a 2-bedroom. The grounds for the 3-bedroom is that, well, why we could only get a 2-bedroom before was because 11 Pickens Avenue, the well there, was within 100 feet. Since they did the new construction on 11 Pickens Ave, they've now moved the well 122 feet away from 4 Cleveland Ave, or from where the septic system is going to be. It's within the 75-foot buffer of the wetlands. It was previously approved for, I believe it was 51.9 feet. We've increased it now to 52.3 feet, away from the wetland. And we'd like to increase it, like I said, from a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom septic system.
Do you currently have any deed restrictions restricting it to a 2-bedroom?
Yes. Yes, we do. And that was from I believe it was a year ago. We went before the Board of Health, and it was granted for 2-bedroom. That's why we're now here requesting that the deed restriction be put to 3-bedroom. I went for the Conservation Commission, and they gave us their blessing. They said it's fine. And they said the next step would be to get an easement. And I believe you got, I believe those plans, you should have a set of plans that was stamped by the Conservation Commission. If not, I do have a set you could have.
I have an engineering stamp.
Yeah, that's what it is. Here's the confirmation, yeah.
Here's one here. Stamp, January 8th.
Okay. We're gonna need one of these for the record too.
You can have that one, yeah.
Thank you. Like Kevin up here.
Sure.
Um,
I thought I sent you 2 copies.
I'm
What's
sure, I
up?
think I just grabbed the wrong one.
Are we able to legally change a deed restriction from a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom? Is that in the purview of the Board of Health?
Yeah, we're the ones that put the restriction on
Correct.
the deed to begin with, so we would be the only ones that would be able to take it away. And that would be primarily if anything were to change. And it
Field
seems as
size.
though, right, and it seems as though one of the things that has led it to be a 2-bedroom deed restriction is because of the other
Because of the well,
right.
yes.
But you're increasing the size of the field to add for the 3rd bedroom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Derek, do you have any questions, comments?
No, even with the increase, it's still gonna be within the radius for the well, so it was more just about the wetlands, which had already kind of been approved, so.
You mean it's outside the radius for the well?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right.
Is anybody here around, anybody from the, next to the property or from the property? Okay. Do you have any comments or questions?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I know you guys had concerns the last time we were here, that's why I do remember. All right,
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to allow for the 3-bedroom.
The actual variance is 4. Here's the actual variance. You got it?
Yep, to upgrade the system from a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom within the 75-foot buffer and reduction in the setback of the soil absorption system to a bordering vegetated wetlands from 75 feet to 53.8 feet, previously approved at 51.9 feet.
And to change the deed restriction from 2 to 3.
Well, yeah, you can change it, but it's part of the motion anyway, so.
Second motion. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And I need to sign. Where?
I've been sitting here for a while.
Thank God.
Thank you.
And
The only
he's gonna
thing
stay
you-
with us and return those, okay?
Make sure you guys get copies of the ones with the approval from the Conservation
Conservation
Commission as well.
I'm pretty sure I have them, I just
Okay.
grabbed the wrong ones out of the file.
All right, you just wanna make sure, cause, and destroy or do something else with the other ones, just because you don't want them to get mixed up and have them come back and say, it was never approved by Conservation.
You've got 2 copies already. Yeah. Do you need that 3rd copy?
When I
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can stay, you don't have to leave.
Stayed the last time, so we won't.
It was riveting, wasn't it? Thank you. All right, discuss blind driveway sign on Flag Swamp Road. Is anybody here from that property? I really feel at this point it's a non-issue because the highway department already put up
Up
a
a sign,
sign.
so.
And it's under their purview and not ours, so we should be all set with that. All right, weekly public discussion. Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm better today than yesterday, I guess. How are you doing? About the same?
Better if you can get rid of somebody. Some more pictures for your picture collection. Do you know if he's sending no tires anywhere? It's like shredding them?
I think they should. I don't know what they're doing.
I'll tell you what I
Do you think you
think.
I
can
know
go
what I
down
think
and
they're
ask
doing,
him
but I-
for where they're sending them?
Well, there's no tires on the way out. There's no stockpile of
That's what
tires,
I'm
so.
saying, so where do they go?
What do you
They
call
don't
it?
evaporate. That's up the road, the marijuana facility.
Where's Derek?
Has a sign for the stormwater thing.
It's just stepped out, he's
I've
gonna
never
come
seen
back.
a sign for the marijuana, I mean, for the scrapyard, because they don't have a license for stormwater.
That's the MIPA for the, yeah, for American.
Right. They don't have one.
I don't know if they were required to do a MIPA for that site. We can find out though. Can we look into that, David, to see if they're required to file stormwater management with Massachusetts and with conservation?
That would be from Campanelli, though.
Well, anytime you manipulate a site, depending on the size of manipulation, you might have to do
But it might have already been done for,
existing use, prior
Yeah.
use, but it should all change. Non-pervious change, they put cement down, they put,
I don't know.
okay.
No.
Okay, here's some pictures for you.
Yeah. Did you work yesterday? Were you home yesterday?
I had to work.
He texted me. His wife emailed.
I have to wait a few minutes, and a video, so,
What is it? Smoke?
no.
Debris?
It's kind of dated stamp at the bottom.
Yeah.
What time the trucks are showing.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of them. Of all different ones. And the tent is open over here, the truck goes right straight across, and then a few minutes later, you see the truck coming up with the dumpster on it and stuff.
Oh. I'll have to hit it again.
Takes a few minutes.
Can you download that? Send us a copy of that?
It's on an SD card.
That's beyond my pay scale. Is that something, Tim, you can figure out how to get it off of there and?
Yeah, it would have to be at the town hall, though, I don't have to do it
I'll remember.
Sure, that's like a USB
Oh,
port
yeah.
or
I
something.
almost wonder
Like
if
the
it's
laptop.
I know.
because it's
Actually,
such a
I
big-
almost bet there's a card. in there.
Fine.
There's one I
I
bought
don't
from my
drink
wife for Christmas.
73, 74, 75, 79,
Laptop I
80,
use has a port.
85, they're all different videos.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how busy that place is.
Well, I'm sure
Oh,
it
no,
is. Believe it or not, we would know.
I mean, 1 o'clock in the morning, 12:30 at night, but,
Do you have
Still?
trucks going through or just people?
you know, all kinds of people. But, I'm sure you got your coffee today.
We'll be discussing that at executive session.
Okay.
Thank you,
Guess
sir.
my job's done.
Thanks for yesterday.
Yeah.
No,
Do you realize it didn't stop?
until I told her to give me the last email, and the last email is
That was
officially,
the last one my wife gave you, though.
yeah.
But Leah was still in because they were still accepting stuff until after 2 something. So, you never,
Do you know what time they close the gate?
no. But that's, I mean, shouldn't the cops be able to go down there and say, this is, you know, let's stop? I mean,
They don't have that. No, they're criminal process, they're not civil process.
so who has the authority to do that?
We'll be discussing that tonight in executive session. And then, once we know, and we can divulge that answer, we will certainly let you know.
And the air quality thing should be out in the next couple of days, they said.
Open. Can't believe it's taking this long.
I can't either. All right.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Meet with water commissioners to discuss and sign environmental partners group contract.
I
Meet
see
with
one.
meet with one water commissioner to discuss
Meet water
environmental partners
commissioners.
contract.
must be the
Meet the
important
chair.
You're an important one, evidently.
one. I'm the only one that could make it.
Yeah. He lost the coin flip.
So this is just, in case they do any work for us, current contract, correct?
Is that what
Correct.
this is for?
Hmm?
This contract we have in front of us to review.
Yeah, that's still up in the air. I mean, that's not definite or anything yet. That's, after we had that meeting, Ryan revised it, you know, and you'll see that the price is a bunch lower and stuff, and
But
we
if this,
think it can still get, we can get it lower.
wait, this isn't that though.
This is just a
This
contract.
This is just, as we move forward, as you, the water commissioner and the sewer commissioners, move forward with anything that they do, this is their contract price. So this is their per hour price for any work that they would do. This is not, doesn't have anything to do with the water line or the sewer evaluation that we were talking about. This is just, like their hourly rates, their standard billing
Oh, I-
hourly rates.
I
to
haven't
December-
seen that.
Okay,
Until 2020.
right. This would be their rates until 2020.
Oh, for environmental partners
Yes.
to do, yeah, oh no, I
Okay.
did, yes.
All right, so you did see this?
Yes.
So the principal, 230, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah, you saw all of that, all right.
The reason I brought it before the board was because in the past, the board, from my understanding, didn't sign off on this. And I just wanted to make sure the board was aware that this is.
Yeah, well, we actually can't sign contracts.
Okay.
I don't
just
believe
wanted to
that
make
the
board
selectmen
aware
have to-
that This is a contract that
Yeah, that's why,
we're
yes.
entering into.
It should go to town council for legal review to make sure it's acceptable. As far as the terms,
It's really, it's,
I don't know what the increase is from the last time.
Yeah, because,
Without that.
and also, I'd like to see, on the signage page, the commissioners and, the board of selectmen. I don't want anybody to think that we signed off on something, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So,
Separate block for that.
it's easy.
yeah, that's perfect. I mean, I have no issues with any of this, it's pretty standard. It's just telling you what the prices are, you know. And then they always come back with a price for us anyway,
Yeah,
before we
that's what-
move
yeah.
forward with anything, you know, so, I mean, I don't have an issue with it, so I would entertain a motion to sign this with the changes after review of council,
I'll make that motion.
and I'll second that, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. So then that way we don't hold it up.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't, I just don't see any liability or, so you know, council needs to review. I see professional liability, I don't actually see, there's general liability too. Okay, that's fine. Yes.
Okay.
It's just basically the same one last time. I understand, the other, that was before me, so.
And it goes off until, like I said, 2020, so, once it's reviewed, we should be
Yeah.
fine. Then we're safe. Now you're off the hook, you can go back. Go back and
No candy, no
put your bunny
candy to,
slippers on and watch TV.
no candy to take to Paul if I see him?
No. Paul's the
He's-
brain
Or a
candy.
cupcake?
You probably have it a donut somewhere.
Yeah, no, he's at the board of directors meeting.
I thought you were just gonna say, he's at the bar. I thought that's what you were gonna say.
Not him.
Ice cream bar, maybe, not Paul.
Uh,
Yeah, if he has a drink a year, we're in big trouble.
That I'd pay to see.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right.
Have a good night.
See ya.
Okay, discuss vote to allow Easter egg hunt for the cultural council to be held off town property.
Okay, in the past, I believe that the Easter egg hunt had been held here at the senior center. The cultural council decided that the Easter egg hunt would be better off at the historical society on their property, because there's more parking and it gives more room to actually separate the kids out from the little kids and bigger kids. The only issue was that in order to allow them to use the property, there's going to be a $150 charge for a certificate of insurance is listing us as an additional insured.
For
Or
that
listing
day.
them as a, yeah, for that day. It's a one-day fee that would be, basically give them, you know, the protection of our insurance policy as an additional insured.
All right. I was having a heart attack when I first read it, because it said to be held off of town property, and I'm like, this is our cultural council,
Okay,
where,
right.
where are we going?
I saw an email in here, though, that
Yeah.
basically said that my preferred beyond town property, it would just be a simple extension of our policy. But if it was off property, they recommend we put a $100,000 cap on it, just like it would normally be. Statute, by statute, we're only liable up to $100,000.
Maybe they're not explaining it right, because even when I read this, it did sound like it was not in the town of Freetown.
No, it's gonna be down, down here where that
That is the town of Freetown.
Yeah, we just
Oh, I
don't
know
own it.
that, yeah, no, I know that.
No,
I'm
it
just
sounded
saying-
like it wasn't going to be in the town of
Oh, it's
Freetown,
gonna be
and
the
I
town,
think,
yeah.
I think even the email makes it almost sound like that.
I just read it as not on town of Freetown property.
All right.
Not town-owned land, I guess that's.
Right.
Right.
that's it.
Do they have the money in their budget to cover the $150?
It would come out of our general insurance account,
Okay.
and we do have the money in the budget. I just didn't wanna, you know, make an assumption that, you know, that we could spend that money without asking, or at least making the board aware that it's not gonna be, number one, not be on town-owned property, and number two, that we had a $150 charge associated with that.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to allow the cultural council to use the property at Freetown Historical Society and to allow the extension of our insurance to cover the property for that one day.
Which is 3/31/18.
$331.18 for a sum of $150.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Open and close the town warrant. Whoa.
A lot of red line changes.
Whoa. This whole thing is glaring red.
Well, the final copy is behind it.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to review all the changes?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the way they changed it, so I don't see anything.
All right, and is there anything else that we thought about adding in here? Are we gonna touch the water? Are we gonna leave that alone?
There is an article in here.
No,
for
no,
water.
no. I'm not really crazy about the way it's red.
The changed one?
The change when it stands, the definition of what's gonna be, it's, included, it initially just said police station, but now it's.
Right, 'cause it's-
Includes everything.
All right.
Municipal buildings,
Because that's what, basically Friday morning, we had a long discussion about.
Right, because it's not just for the police station. I
Right.
think that that's like my main concern. It's for future buildings, it's for future expansion on the site, you know, the elementary school.
the way the article is read now, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate transfer from available funds or borrow the sum of money for the construction and installation of a water line to service the town's police station, elementary school, and other municipal buildings and abutting properties, including engineering and construction costs. So it does include that. It could say future buildings,
Current and future?
yes.
All right.
Town's police station, current, how about this, construction, installation of water line to service the town's current police station, elementary school, and any other municipal buildings currently erected, I don't know.
No. It just, and
Currently or in
other
the future?
current and future municipal buildings.
Perfect, I'll make a motion to change Article 4 as noted.
All right. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
We did actually question, as a result, Tim had brought it up, that when we were talking about it, that it doesn't really specifically reference residences, but however, and I talked to Mark Rich today about it, the language abutting and
That's what I
abutting properties. Abutting, not abutting to the municipal properties, but
Budding
properties
water
up
line.
to the water line.
How about
So that's a
in
clarity.
any abutting properties along the line?
He said that that was clear by definition. I actually have
We can just add the word and, any,
All right.
between and abutting,
all right,
and just leave the rest of the wording. I'll make the motion, we add the word and, any,
And any abutting properties?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense to me than just the abutting properties of these certain things that we
yeah,
talked
now
about.
you're able to.
So that'll be
any
inserted.
residents that wants to make the
Right.
connection.
So that'll be
that's running
inserted,
along the line.
and other municipal buildings and any abutting properties. So that'll be my motion.
Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, no problem. All right, I'm gonna, now I'm gonna open, the warrant to, add the following articles as directed by town council with the changes approved by the Board of Selectmen for the Wednesday, March 14th, 2018, 7 PM special town meeting.
I'll make the motion that we,
Open,
open the warrant
okay, and insert these.
and insert as noted.
All right,
Could I just make one note?
yeah,
I did forward the articles on the DCR property to Sean Proventer on Friday, just to get his impact and feedback from his council. As I had mentioned to you, they won't enter into a hold harmless agreement and indemnify us, because the state doesn't do that as part of their normal course of business. Their council said that when they purchase the property, they take responsibility for it. However, after talking to Mark Rich about that, that's not necessarily a fact, that if they got on the property and they found some potential liability, then if it's specifically targeted and we can go back against whoever the party is, that's one thing. But if it's not untargeted, we now have to, as a prior owner of the property, all prior owners through the order of succession will be responsible. I guess given that we own the property now, we already have the liability, now we're gonna be sharing the liability. So I guess, although that isn't a perfect situation, it's at least, sharing in the benefit that's gonna be received out of that in terms of the building being knocked down, all that lot cleared up, a new parking lot put there, and then gaining the access to walking trails and other natural attributes of the land. I think it's worth it. But I just wanted to let the board know they will not do a hold harmless.
That's right.
no.
Okay. I don't think that's.
But they all right with all of this wording? Are they okay with it? Because the last thing I want to do is have a special town meeting and then,
Well, they should have had the chance to review it. We
Right.
need
I
this.
gave it
Did
to
you
them
get
on
them?
Friday, haven't heard anything back. I heard Sean is out because his wife is having a baby, so I wasn't able to get, back to him in terms of their council review.
You gave them a copy of the article, but originally when we changed the contract and we signed the contract, they did get that, correct? Before Friday?
Yeah, we didn't, I don't believe we ever really had a contract. with
The
them.
last meeting, didn't we make changes and sign something at the last meeting?
The last meeting, we talked about adding the hold harmless and indemnification agreement. And I read that to Sean, and Sean said he didn't believe it, that they could sign it, and then he talked to their council said, to our town council should be telling them that they, when they buy the property, they take over that responsibility. And then I talked to Mark, and Mark said that's not necessarily true.
okay, again, though, I'm worried that we're gonna be having this special town meeting, voter registration, everything else, and then all of a sudden, tomorrow, they're gonna come back and say, we need to change Article 2 to say this.
Well, we
They
already have.
wrote Article 3.
Okay.
Article 1 is
But
rescinding
after
our
the
original.
change, okay, but they have our changes.
Yes.
They haven't approved any of our changes.
They haven't approved the changes, no. But Article 1 is to rescind the earlier vote, so that should have no impact on them at all. Article 2 is to authorize us to sell the property to DCR. And it, cites a lot in map numbers. There shouldn't be any question about that article at all. And Article 3 is an article that their own council wrote. So I can't see any real changes coming, other than, like I said, I just wanted the board to be aware that the indemnification agreement was not going to happen.
Okay. I forgot where I was.
It's open, the articles are open, the warrant's open,
Okay.
that's it.
Do you have anything else?
No. I don't know.
Right. I'm at a loss, so.
If we can we,
You could make a motion on the floor if there's a change.
I understand that, but when do we go to print on these?
We'd have to have another board of selectmen's meeting
We have one 2 weeks
and to open it and close it again. No, because.
to amend, but it has to hit the
No.
street.
Yeah, we won't have enough time.
Let's hit the street on 128.
Yeah, so we won't have. That was the question.
Right, okay.
No, well, we just have to amend on the floor.
All right.
We don't have any other choice, really.
No, we don't have any other choice. The only thing is, right, okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we place the articles as amended by the red line copy, the attorney's.
Town council and the board of selectmen.
Yes.
All right, and I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll entertain a motion to close the special town meeting warrant articles.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Can you just try to get an answer from them?
I will do that.
All right, thank you. Do you have a sign page for us?
Yes, I have.
Okay, perfect.
Multiple ones, in case I screwed up.
Well, I'm sure you will. All right,
Did you say sure you will?
huh?
I thought you said, I'm sure you will.
No, I'm sure you won't.
It's happened before.
Is this thing on?
Go ahead, rewind.
Whatever you want.
All right, discuss Lake Cam and McCam agreements and possible renewal. I'm still so confused over this, but go ahead,
Okay,
try it out.
I didn't get the actual, I sat down with Jose and Vecchio last Thursday, and we came to an agreement in terms of potential changes that they made to potential changes made to their original agreement. I didn't get the final copy of those till about an hour and a half ago from Jose, so I would ask the board to, I've got agreement from Middleborough and I got agreement from Lake Cam to extend out what our current agreements to April 1st. I can get these agreements to the proposal that Lake Cam is making to the board, so you'll have proper time to review it and have it on the next agenda. I also talked to Bruce Wilbur because we had a letter come in today from Comcast, and they are asking us to begin negotiations for the cable contract for 2020. He, in the process of that, I explained to him what was going on. He said he would like to review it with the membership of the Cable Advisory Committee.
Sounds perfect to me.
And then we'll all come back on the 3rd or the 5th, I should say, and have a recommendation for the board in terms of what to do.
And can we make it kind of simple, instead of us reviewing each one of these? Can you make it like a grid that says, like, this is included in this one, and this one. This is extra in this one. This is how much it costs in that one.
Yeah, that was,
Because it's way too confusing, but if we could compare all of those
All
and
right.
put them in a grid so it's easier for us to look at.
With something also that, what we currently are now, where
Right.
we are now, what we're paying for Middleborough, what we're paying for Lakeville, and what we're paying our independent contractors.
Right, okay, that's perfect.
And we could that way you can match them.
Feel much better now. Okay, sign special town election and annual town election warrants as submitted by town clerk Jackie Brown. Special town election 3/24/2018 and annual town election 4/2/2018.
You make a motion, you endorse.
I'll second, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Moving right along. Oh, and the warrant for the special town, March 24th, 2018. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're all.
We don't have a choice, the attorneys wrote the
Right.
questions, so.
Did we find out, how how much a postcard would be?
They advised against that,
Council advice.
town council. They said, no, can't do that.
I didn't get that email.
You might have been away. No, they advised that we can't send out anything. We could put it on our website, we could put it on a Facebook page, but we can't send anything to anybody.
Okay.
Is that correct, David?
It is.
All right. Are we putting something on our website then?
We should come up with some language, just to,
We started doing that.
I threw something together, but then when that was in question, I kind of just hit save and just took it aside and
Okay,
figured a
can
way
you
to
make
forward
sure
it.
that I get all the emails? Because I feel like I'm missing pieces here.
Mhm.
So I feel like there's conversations in the background that I'm not being privy to, and it's.
yeah, I didn't know they were actually working on it, but I did see the email for the other one. It's just to clarify, yes means no, and
Right. Something very simple, that we weren't pushing voters one way or the other, but
Right.
just clarifying as to what their yes and what their no
you can
is.
tell this was written by an attorney, because.
Right, because it's very confusing and people are not gonna understand it, so, anyway. Right, sign special speed zone regulation from the Mass Department of Transportation. Attach 2 copies of the speed regulations, number 839-B for the town way noted on the regulation. Please have each copy of this regulation signed by the Board of Selectmen, attested by the town clerk, and returned to the Mass Department of Transportation.
Now, this is done by a study, correct? When they did the last traffic study?
Yes.
And this was recommendations from the last traffic study?
The board had made a request to have this done, and this is their findings and their recommendation. It was back, I believe, in August of,
October.
October 2017.
I think Carlton was in here when we were talking about that.
Yeah, I can't remember, yeah.
All right. Remember Charlie was saying, I'll never go that slow?
Well, we did, at, I believe it was a town meeting, we adopted to allow in thickly settled areas to set our own speed limits below the state minimum, but I didn't know South Main Street ran east and west, I thought it ran north and south, so it's a little confusing.
Do you wanna, take your time and read this through?
I read it through earlier. It's really the impact areas. Basically, South Main Street eastbound, beginning at Town Line, Freetown, Florida, Town Line, thence easterly on South Main Street, 0.32 miles to 30 miles an hour 30 miles per hour, ending at the beginning of the state highway, and beginning again at the state highway, thence easterly 0.79 miles to 40 miles per hour. 0.65 miles at 35 miles an hour, ending at the beginning of the state highway, the total distance being 1.76 miles. So it goes from 30 to 40 to 35 in that 1.6 miles. In the opposite direction, 0.65 miles.
Goes from 35, 40 to 30.
Right. I was just reading so people
That was
know what it
the
was.
meeting minutes.
That's fine.
Yeah, I remember. Come on,
40 miles an hour.
there's no mention in there that Charlie said he's not gonna go 30 miles an hour. What's up with that?
This is, none of this gets that far, I don't think.
Yeah.
This is only 0.65 miles. Yeah, I remember.
You remember now?
Okay.
So I'll come back to him.
I'll make a motion to endorse.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think that'll help. Okay, town administrators report.
Okay, I only have a few things. Just want to let the board know that Representative Viola is going to hold a meeting with DOT on Innovation Way regarding the water line that runs underneath the highway. That meeting is set for March 2nd, 2018 at 11 a.m. I have been talking to Attorney Gay regarding 15 Bullock Road, which is a property that's owned by the church next to the fire station. And I'm hopefully going to have an offer from them in the next few weeks, and I will share that with the board and we probably should go into executive session to discuss that. We have an American groundbreaking. I've been given 2 dates, I'm not sure. I tried to call today, I had come in on Friday, I called today to find out if they were asking us about the 2 dates or whether they had chosen a date. The 2 dates are 2/28 and 3/2. I will confirm which date it is and get back to the board. Today we had 2 housing rehab and first-time homebuyer program sessions. Unfortunately, the attendance was not as great as we had hoped. We had put it in the newspapers as a press release. We also had it on our website, Facebook, and had advertised it in the senior newsletter. We did have 3 individuals that had expressed an interest, which is better than nothing at all, and we're hopeful that that program will hopefully generate more interest. One of the things that had been suggested by the individual who was overseeing the program was that they find that if they come into Selectmen's meetings and it gets on the cable, the people who watch the cable then respond off of that, and they said it would only take 5 to 10 minutes to come in and make a small presentation about, because it is a good program. It's housing rehab, it does, code enforcement, puts new roofs on, energy efficient, safety issues, and it benefits a lot of senior citizens. So I think it's a great program. We just got to get the word out about it. I just wanted to remind the board regarding the trash disposal contract. There's a provision in the current contract that we have to make a decision by June 30, 2018 on whether we want to extend the contract to 2020. So I just want to put that on the board's radar.
Well, you could probably put that on for the next agenda.
Ethics training, I had a request from the town clerk regarding a number of individuals. You're required by state law, if you serve on a board or committee, that you need to do the ethics training. We have sent a letter out to hopefully generate some more interest in that and make sure that people actually take the training so that they can continue to serve as a member of a board or a committee. That's about it.
All right. Do we know how many have not taken it? Do you know how many?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
We make sure they get notified
We sent letters out.
to all of them.
Perfect. It's always the hardest thing. Board of Health? Well, Charlie's having a good time.
Yeah, he's out investigating it.
Personnel?
Personnel, a couple things in front of the personnel board. The contract that we had agreed to between Kimberly Fales and the town of Freetown needs to be endorsed.
Make a motion to sign the contract.
Second the motion. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Change of status form for Thomas Ashley, heavy equipment operator 2. Highway Department, current rate is $22.45 to heavy equipment operator 3. Highway Department $23.71 to length of service increase.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second motion. Motion made and seconded to approve. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Change of status form from Mike McHugh. There was a change to this. I had David reach out today and speak to the chair of the planning board. David, what'd you have to put?
I talked to both of the individuals involved, and they have agreed that there wasn't a change in the position and that the $1 additional fee wouldn't be charged, so.
He's going to be doing senior clerk duties. He's not going to be acting as a planning technician. He doesn't have the qualifications to do so. So his only job requirements are going to be that of a senior clerk. So that being said, there is a change to this job description, senior clerk, department planning, at $18.85 per hour.
I'll make a motion to approve at the $18.85 per hour.
Second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Certificate of appointment for Miriam Gurney. We, the select persons of the town of Freetown, by virtue of the authority vested in us by the laws of the Commonwealth, do hereby appoint the Historical Commission term expiring June 30th, 2020. Any motion to
I'll make a motion to approve.
second the motion? Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have received a letter from Elaine Farrell requesting to be appointed as an election worker. We have an email from Jackie recommending her for appointment.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second the motion. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
That'll do it for personnel.
Okay, dates for upcoming Board of Selectmen's meetings: Monday, March 5th, special town meeting, Wednesday, March 14th, Monday, March 19th, Tuesday, April 3rd, that's a tough one. Tuesday, April 17th, Monday, May 7th, and then we'll go on from there. All right, anything else before the board right now?
One thing for David, if we do have the first-time home buyers come in and do a presentation, can be after the meeting, like maybe the March 19th meeting,
Okay.
just so we can be done with all the other stuff.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
All right, perfect. All right, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session. I just moved it. Thank you.
Oh, that's been-
Yeah. To discuss strategy with respect to litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the public body and the chair so declares. Excel Recycling LLC versus Lisa Pacheco, Robert Joes, and Charles Sullivan individually and as members of the Freetown Board of Selectmen. And also Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining with the Town Hall, Library, Highway Union, Freetown Firefighters Union, and Freetown Police Union, because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body and the chair so declares. Hold on, do you need something from us?
Yes, actually,
All of a sudden I look up and I'm like, okay, I see somebody over there.
I was told to come in after 6:30, in regards to what we were going to do as far as getting a sign up, by my driveway for the.
Okay, so that was by a long time ago.
Okay.
Actually at probably closer to 6:05.
Okay.
We move fast tonight.
I guess so, yeah, I was specifically told, they said they have a lot to go over, so come after 6:30.
No,
So I
that's
would've been
fine.
here.
But just to make you happy,
Yes.
it really was taken care of by the highway department. It's really not the purview of the Board of Selectmen.
Okay.
So that request was made, and David can talk to that, to the highway department, and the highway department has already put up a sign. Is that true?
That's what I was.
There was a sign put
that's
up
what we were
already?
told. Yeah, that's what we were told.
On Quantified Road?
That's
Yeah,
what we were
there's
told.
something, there's a letter in here.
Does it put up on corner or on?
Flag Swamp?
Yeah, see, is it April? Is that who I spoke to on the phone? Is that her name?
Ally.
Ally, okay, thank you. She called me to correct that. She said, I just want to make sure that it was Quantified Road and not, she actually mentioned, I think it was Flag Swamp Road. So I just wanted to clarify.
It said, I got a letter here from the Freetown Highway Department, Charles Montgomery, Highway Surveyor. Said, as of today's date, I have received no complaints about traffic in the vicinity of 130 Quantified Road, but be they from the school bus company or anybody else, if there's an issue at this location, however, it would not be a problem to post warning signs to try and take care of it. With regard to the question of erecting a blind driveway sign, this is not a regulatory sign and can be put up at any time by request made directly to the highway department. If a request is made by the homeowner to have the blind driveway signs put up at this stretch of Quantified Road, the highway department will do so at its earliest opportunity. I thought it already.
Yeah, me
I
too.
thought it did too.
I thought
I thought I
the,
saw
There was another email that said.
yeah, I think the
Okay.
email said it. I
All right.
think that,
Okay.
yeah, no, we're not thinking, I mean, we're not, making things up. The email said that it went
I
up,
thought it was
so.
in that, I thought it was in that letter.
So anyway, if not, then just call town hall tomorrow and we'll
No,
make
I
sure
can
that,
take care of it.
yeah,
Okay, fantastic.
so you're all set.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sorry.
That's okay.
All right, so you second the motion?
I will make the motion that we go into executive session.
All right, and I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Joes?
Yes.
And Mrs. Pacheco, yes.